Welcome, welcome, welcome world. Welcome to the Barely Broke Podcast. I'm here with you today. You know what I'm saying? Every time I come on here, the road gallery getting bigger and bigger. It's swelling up, busting at the seams. Your boy DIV here today. Mr. Goddamn, Mr. Do Too Much, Mr. Show Too Much. DIV straight in your veins. You know what I'm saying? I'm here with you. You here with me. Live and direct, live in full effect. All right, like I said, it's getting bigger, and all these new people, all these new faces, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. I'm gonna let them tell you who they are. I don't need to tell you; they'll tell you. You know. So, whoever wants to start off, start off.
Hey guys, it's Lee again. I'm here. Just question everything.
Always question.
And I'm gonna be questioning everything tonight too, bringing out some good topics.
All right.
Go ahead, Mr. Rizzo.
All right, I'm Rizzo. I'm from the hood of Jamaica, Queens.
Hey.
All right, I'm a proud
You got a
African.
gangster in the building.
You know, I'm a
I got shot
humanitarian at
now.
heart.
Yeah. Out
All
there
right.
with 50. Yeah. All right. Who else we got here?
Sorea.
Who else we got here?
Hey guys, it's Ray. I ain't gonna say much, but shout out to my people.
All
She
right,
ain't gonna
say
say
less,
much, but
say
you gonna
less.
hear her.
Yeah.
She's saying less.
Yeah, show more, say less. All right, cool. All right, so usually I'll go ahead and take topics and let you guys know what's going on. But I feel good today, and I feel like Melody Lee's feeling good today. So I feel like she should introduce our first couple of topics and we get to the heavy shit. You know, we start off with the cream, and then you get to the cake. You know what I'm saying? So we start off light. So Lee, take it away.
Yes. Okay, guys, we're gonna start off light tonight. Some fun topics that will really get us thinking. We're gonna set up conspiracy theories. Do y'all know what conspiracy theories are?
Yes. Yeah. We
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Do y'all know like some of the biggest conspiracy theories right now in America, or that America has had?
9/11 was the government. What else? The Illuminati is responsible for everything that
the
happened.
secret societies.
COVID.
Y'all know any more?
Oh yeah, COVID. Yeah.
COVID is one too. I didn't even think of COVID.
Really?
And the mythical creatures.
What about the moon landing?
Oh yeah,
Moon landing was one. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are a couple ones we're gonna get into. So we're gonna start with the biggest one, the biggest conspiracy theory, Bigfoot. Bigfoot, guys.
Well, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Or did he take over the White House? What was the conspiracy?
Bigfoot.
He's real, or is he like conspiring against America? What's he doing?
What do you think?
I think Kim Jong-un and Bigfoot have been planning to bomb the U.S. for the last 12 years. That's what I
believe so. I believe it.
I don't trust Bigfoot. I don't trust Bigfoot.
I believe Bigfoot's real.
You do?
I do.
Why is that?
Because it's impossible. You have so many people from around the world seeing the same monkey-like man creature. It's impossible. So you tell me all these people are having these same experiences and this thing's not real?
See, that's all right. So the thing with that, you kind of disprove that, because it's like Bigfoot is like a big thing. It's like people know about Bigfoot. It's like, oh, Bigfoot's all over the place. To me, it's like people see what they want to see. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you put it in their head, they'll see what they want to see. Like everybody will have like a how can I describe it? Like if something gets popular enough, everybody will have that like vision in their head whenever they start seeing stuff, that their brain will go to whatever you see you put into their heads. So if it's like whenever I get drunk, I see pink elephants, and then boom, like whenever like some people will be like, oh, I'm drinking or whatever, oh yeah, I seen pink elephants or what. It's like you put something in their head, and like I feel like they manifest it kind of. So if you put it in your head, oh, Bigfoot's out there. Every time they go to the woods, they hear something, oh, that's Bigfoot. I heard Bigfoot.
What about those people who never believed it, and then all of a sudden one day they see Bigfoot? You have people who are diehard Bigfoot is fake, that suddenly see Bigfoot, and now they're like apologizing for everyone who they've called liars.
They could have just seen a abnormally tall man who's hairy with a big foot.
Exactly. It could be anything.
Lord have mercy. So you don't believe in Bigfoot, Rizzo?
I believe he's the king of hide and seek. That's what I
believe
believe.
He exists.
I don't know.
What about you, Sorea?
I got mixed feelings about that one. Like, I'm all for believing in mythical creatures and stuff like that, but Bigfoot has always been someone who I've been iffy about, because I'm just like, I feel as though, like, because I'm like, nowadays, like, how come no one sees Bigfoot now that we have cameras, now that we have phones? Like, how come no one has a picture of him or like anything like that? I'm like, it was always the day before like technology was really booming, and I feel as though some people just want to have a story to talk about sometimes. Like, they're like, oh, I saw a Bigfoot.
You know, I don't know, because they have like the Asian Bigfoots and like the snowy Bigfoot, like the Yeti. The Yeti is a snow Bigfoot.
Oh, they have the Bigfoot?
They have multiple Bigfoots everywhere. They have one in Japan. I forgot what they call it. And everyone is seeing this thing. But you know what's also funny? Oops. That's a bougie ass phone. Cut that part out. What's funny is they said that sometimes these mythical creatures that we're seeing are in a time of their own, and that we just happen to see them at like the perfect time. So when they're crossing into like another parallel or paradox that we're in, that's when we see them. Like, I've heard that theory before.
But are you saying like they're spirits that's just passing? Like,
yes. What I'm saying is people believe that they're traveling in their own time.
Or dimension or time?
Yes, a dimension, in their own dimension, in their own time. So when we see them, they are there, but they're just passing through ours. So like basically we're just passing them. That's why no one has ever found evidence of a Bigfoot, or no one has ever found evidence of like when they used to see the pterodactyls flying, and all of a sudden they see them disappear and all that.
So is Bigfoot from the past or the future, since he could time travel?
That's the thing. When someone's passing through time, it's just their time. We don't know if it's like their time from the future or their time from the past. We don't know if we're in the past for them or they're in the past for us. So I don't know why this thing is so dark.
So what if Bigfoot is like the evolution of man before like it turned into like humans? You know how like in science
the missing link is like
That's
because I'm like, they said back in the day, like a long time ago, like they'll find skeletons of humans and they were like 7 feet tall, or like they were like 7 feet tall. And they said like they
like giants,
like the Nephilims, from the Bible.
So I'm like, what if like it's something like that, and then like as evolution,
I believe that
goes on,
because this country.
Sorry. Egypt, they used to find a lot of bones, and there used to be like the bones of people who they think were like 7 or 8 feet tall.
Yeah, they think that's the like what they call them in the Bible, the Nephilims or something.
So they're like real. They were like a real people. That's crazy. I didn't know giants were like a real thing. I didn't know that.
So are you saying
like that's like a
missing?
Though? There's people in Africa that's like they have like some of the tallest people in the world, and like there's certain tribes.
But they got the smallest people in the world in Africa too. The pygmy people are like super tiny.
Yeah,
they're mad tiny.
Yeah,
Africa.
So, Africa's a big place. So and I mean, all this stuff. I believe everything. You know, I seen like the internet that showed me that there's so much wild stuff out here in the world, and it's just hard for me. It's like you could get a UFO on camera, like there's mad UFOs, like, but it's always some grainy video. But you could get UFOs, but you can't get Bigfoot. Like you can't get Bigfoot, but maybe Bigfoot is one of those giants, or I don't know. Maybe is Bigfoot a missing link? Is he a giant? What is it? What is it? Like I don't know. It's like it's real confusing when you start digging into it, and that's real.
Native Americans. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I said Native Americans said that Bigfoot was a spirit. They said that stories from Native Americans said that they used to be vicious and attack and kill them, and they made a pact with the Native American people, and they said like Bigfoots are spirits. They're spirits.
Nice. This is pretty interesting.
Honest, yeah. I feel like anything is possible with that. That's actually
Yeah, I believe everything is possible.
I want to see some
But the
evidence.
conspiracy theory with aliens is debunked. The government already said they have proof of aliens, so that's no longer a theory.
Well, that's
a fact.
I believe for a fact there's aliens. The universe is too big. It's too wide. Like our sun is our sun is a speck. So imagine us. You know what I'm saying? If our sun is a speck. We are like molecules in the big DNA.
We're nothing basically.
Yeah. So and you can't tell me that we're the only ones in this mix up, because there's like other planets have to give birth to other creatures out here, and it's hard for me to doubt that we are the only ones. And have we been visited? I feel like we have. Yo, I seen a UFO.
I feel like they're among us.
I seen one.
Yeah, I believe they're among us.
Yeah. I'll tell you the story. So I was on the track.
Seen one.
Nina seen one where she seen it? In Connecticut. I seen one in Connecticut.
In Watertown.
I seen it in Waterbury. I seen one in Waterbury. Yo, it was in the sky. It was like, I looked up. The person that was with me.
I thought it was in the floor. God.
Nah, it was me and another person. We were jogging on the track. And there was 3 other people.
Hold on. Was it nighttime?
Yes.
Okay.
And there was 3 other people. One guy who was running around the track, and the other one, there was a couple walking around the track. And as we're just jogging, whatever, and we go to a slow walk, I look up and I'm like, "What is that?" And it was a ball of light, and it was just in one suspended area. It was just sitting there, like one area. And I'm looking up at it. I'm like, "There's nobody else here." The person I was with, she seen it. You know what I mean? She seen it. We both were like, "Yo, we're not crazy. We see that up there, and and I start walking faster to a run so I can get closer, because we're on a track at a high school, and the track is down, and the high school's up on the hill. So it's like we're down in the track, the high school's up the hill, on the hill, and then above it is the light that's just suspended up there. And I'm like, "What is that?" I would think that was like a lantern, but it just stood there. It didn't float, it didn't go nowhere. It was just there. As we get closer, it starts fading out into the distance, and it moves to the right, and then takes off into the distance, and like it's like it goes from being hot, bright, whatever color it was like a yellowish red, and it just like it didn't even fizzle out. It just like kind of just like went back and just disappeared. And then I'm like, "Yo, did anybody else see this?" Then I ran up to the couple. I'm like, "Did you guys see that?" And they're like, "Oh, nah, what was up there?" It was like a light. "Did you see a light up there?" And the girl was like, "Oh, nah, that's probably a lantern. They probably released lanterns." I'm like, "Why would somebody just release a lantern into the sky, like, and it went so high?" I mean, I know the lanterns go up, but they go up and then they come down eventually, they burn out, fizzle out. But this was just, it was staying in one spot. And then I asked the guy who was running, he said he didn't see anything. I ran up to him like, "Yo, did you see the lamp? Did you see that big ball of light up there?" And he's like, "No, I didn't see it." I'm like, "Come on, this is just like in the movies." But like, I was blown away. I'm like, "Yo, UFOs are real. Whether or not it's like, an alien coming to visit us, whatever it is, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the government playing tricks with us, but unidentified flying objects are real." And like,
I believe that.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
The government has definitely made contact with aliens. They have some sort of relationship. I'm not gonna say like they're best friends, but I'm reading a book. It's like what's it called? Behold a Pale White Horse, and it's by like I guess some guy who used to be like an informant or something, or he used to be in the military, and he actually seen the UFOs. He said like back in like the 70s and the 80s, he used to have a lot of activity, especially like near the water. So he used to say he used to see UFOs coming up one time, and then I guess his sergeant or whoever was in charge made him sign a document that says that he didn't see anything. Like they weren't allowed to
of course.
say anything. He wasn't allowed to bring it up, and he made a whole book on it. And the book's very interesting. I didn't get to finish it, but like the beginning part, it talks about aliens and everything, and I believe it wholeheartedly. I believe in mermaids too.
I believe in mermaids.
Yeah, you never know. Yo, we haven't discovered the whole ocean. I think it said it's like 20% or something like that. But you don't know.
Not even. I think it's 7% of the ocean. I think we've like discovered.
That might be an old number.
Old one.
I think now it's 20%, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's 20% now. I'm not sure. You have to look that up. But hey, we ain't going too heavy on the facts here. It's heavily. The barely broke.
Oh, you're correct. It's 20%.
Okay.
Yeah, because we can only go so far deep in the ocean without that pressure like killing us, basically.
Yeah.
So there's different layers to the ocean. There's different zones, and then like each zone contains something different, and we're only skimming the surface of it.
So with that being said,
somewhere like going up in the air.
You said what?
How come? I said with that being said, we only explored 20% of the ocean. How do they know that we've overfished?
I think it's the ecosystem showing it. Like in certain areas, I think like certain creatures.
Oh, certain areas are okay.
Yeah, certain areas are overfished. Like I guess the sea next to Japan and China or something. So
we're only saying the areas that we've done.
No, I mean certain areas. It's just certain areas that are like super old. I don't think it's the whole ocean, but certain areas and like around Japan, I know they took everything out of that area. They fish that chunk to death. Like they eat everything, but Japan and like those other countries base a whole lot of their diets off of fish, so it makes sense. You know, it's like a staple in their diet.
Okay. Well, that was good. I have another one, guys, that I want to talk about real quick. It's not a fun one.
Okay.
It's a different one. What y'all think about the theory that Tupac is still alive? Wow.
Okay. That's another good conspiracy theory.
He's in Cuba.
People are claiming that that he's in Cuba. They say that like he faked his death because of like the plot that was out against his life, and he's living somewhere else. And there have been pictures that have surfaced over the years that have shown someone that has looked like him. So
there's a lot of dudes that look like Tupac.
Yeah, but I don't know. People have faked their death. There was that one singer that did fake his death, and he came forward and admitted it. I forgot what his name was.
I mean,
y'all think Tupac is still alive?
I want to believe he's still alive.
I don't believe he's still alive.
I don't know. Tupac got shot already. He survived it. He got shot again. He survived it. I don't know.
You know, it's funny because like I like looking up conspiracies on like YouTube, and you know how like sometimes people like piece together messages from people's songs or like their albums or something like that.
Like hidden messages.
Yeah, like there was one that says like he just like changed his name. He went to like a whole new identity. Like he took on like Machiavelli or whatever his thing was. So like part of me like wanted to believe it, but at the same time I'm like I feel as though he's probably just gone. I feel like the game they big on setting people up and killing people. So I'm just like if Biggie's gone, I kind of feel like Tupac's gone too.
Yeah, but there's a whole. It's not just that if he's still alive. There's more conspiracy surrounding Tupac. Like Suge Knight's responsible for the killing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But didn't Suge Knight say that Tupac was still alive too?
He probably did. He probably was on some dumb shit. Just to,
wait. He said that?
I'm pretty sure Suge Knight came forward and was like, Tupac is still alive.
I feel like if anybody killed Tupac, Suge Knight has something to do with it. He just seems like a greedy man. Like, I'm sorry. He seems like...
Just like what happened with Eazy-E.
Oh,
yeah. They set him up. They said
like his death was basically a conspiracy too. Like how they injected him with their needle, how he didn't really have HIV.
Yeah. Because I guess none of his like baby mamas or girlfriends or whatever, none of them had it, right? None of them had HIV. So it's like, how did this man get it if none of the women that he's been laying with for the past, probably weeks, months, years, they don't have nothing, no signs of nothing. He's laid up in the bed like, damn, like why is this happening to Eazy-E? So
because he died very fast. Like I think they said it was over the course of like a couple months, if even. And then like one day he was just sick, and then like the next thing he was just deteriorating. And I'm like, his own daughter doesn't really even know how he died, because she said they never did an official autopsy or anything like that. She just came out with her own documentary, and she's investigating it too as well. So I'm just like, his death is definitely suspicious. I don't think he really died of HIV. I feel like they just took him out.
Like this whole thing is just so scary. Like you can't trust people,
It's fame. Like fame is just.
He was hot. He was moving on up.
Oh yeah. He was getting
big.
They
were jealous of him.
Yeah. And he was getting bigger than. I think he was probably getting bigger than NWA, because he got out. He wasn't in NWA anymore, and it was a whole bunch of contentions. They're fighting with each other. There's a whole bunch of like in fighting, and just it was messy back then. Who knows? Like and back then, rap was like intertwined with street shit, and the street shit was like it wasn't new street shit, but it was just like rap and the gangster shit and the music industry were getting so entwined. Like NWA brought that shit so tightly together. Like you would always have like a blues guy that was probably a hustler and a thug like play the rules and he probably robbed somebody. But then like you got and like fast forward to like rap and like now you got because when it first came out, it was like rappers like, hey ho, we're good, all this good stuff, and then NWA comes in like, nah, we're like gang banging, shooting,
gangster rapping.
Yeah, I didn't have to
use my AK. F the police in front of the police.
Yep. So that caused a whole bunch of shit.
Yes, they did not give a damn about nothing. They were rowdy boys. Do y'all have any more conspiracy theories y'all want to go on, or do y'all want to move on to the next topic?
I mean, we could go for days on the conspiracy.
For real, we can.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, if anybody got one, I'll save it for probably another podcast when we get even heavier into conspiracy. There's always conspiracies to talk about, but
there'll forever be conspiracy theories. Like this one. Hold on, I have one more. Like how black women, like you know that theory that said like black women are like more adaptable to pain and stuff. That's why hospitals don't like really take them seriously.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah,
that's one. But that's for like a whole nother topic. Like y'all said, are y'all ready for the next topic?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, we're gonna talk about chivalry. Y'all know what that is.
Of course.
Let us know. It's when you sit on a horse and joust and you chop randomly off the horse. Right?
Yes, you have to have your armor and everything.
And I get a squire. I get to smack him in the face with a metal glove. He doesn't like clean my horse's dung or something. Like
Now, chivalry is the practice of showing respect towards a woman. So, with that being said, do y'all think that chivalry is dead?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. For the most part, yeah. And I feel like.
Why do you think it's dead?
I'll tell you. Feminism is why. Because feminism came in and was like, yo, we do not need men. Men are evil pieces of garbage, and they deserve to burn alive in the stake. And we're just like, okay, I guess we don't really gotta be chivalrous anymore because y'all hate us. So it's whatever. And then that's just what it is. And we're just like, all right, we don't have to hold doors open or pay the whole bill at the table or or even I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't agree. I feel like chivalry is dying, or it may be like dead or on the way to being dead. But I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like it's the men's fault. I don't feel like it's because feminism was created because of men. Like back in the day, what were they doing? They were sitting there, they were working, they had all the rights, they had all the rules, they were coming home beating their wives. They could do whatever they want to the women, and the women felt as though they had no rights in their own household. What were they supposed to do? Like, oh, stay in the kitchen, make me a sandwich, raise the babies, da-da-da-da-da. So finally, when women started becoming a little more independent, all of a sudden men see it as a threat. They're like, no, you should stay behind closed doors. You should stay as my sidekick, this, that, and the third. No, women have rights too, and they have the power to do what they want. So I feel as though feminism was created because men didn't know how to treat women. So chivalry's dead.
I mean,
men didn't know how to treat women fairly because they were having like the equity and equality battle. They were giving them equal stuff eventually, but they still weren't giving them the fairness of it all. Like today, women are still not getting paid fairly for men and other stuff. But yeah, I agree with Lala to the most part. Henry, sorry. Rishi is going to say something.
I was going to say, I mean, when we speak about like men, not being up to par what they're supposed to do for a woman. I mean, we can't speak on like all men, because not all men are like that. You know, there's still men that still open doors for women, you know? There's still men that, treat women with respect. I mean, there's still men like that.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not all men, but I feel as though it's enough where we can sit here and generalize the majority of men.
Okay, so I'll counter that. I'll counter all of that what you just said. So you believe back in the day there was no strong women that kind of was in a man's ear, letting them know how things should go, how things should go down? Because I believe even back in caveman days, no matter. All right, so there's always been strong women. There's always been. It just never had to be a name on it, and then there had to be a group think. and have the whole feminist movement and whatnot. And I'll tell you, I'll go into why I don't even trust the feminist movement and why I believe that Black women shouldn't even be involved in some of that stuff. But as far as the whole men always been abusive, beating their not men haven't always been abusive, but there's instances where men have been abusive and all that beating stuff. That happens out here in this world. It's a cold world out here. You know what I'm saying? Women get beat, men get beat since the dawn of time. People have been getting murdered, beat, and all that stuff. It's just been happening. If you have a violent man around you, it's gonna happen. And if you have a violent woman around you, it doesn't matter if you're a dude or you're big or whatever, she still swing on you, she'll still hit you. And it's been like that since the dawn of time. It's just that sympathy. Women usually get the sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Women, when you see a woman, you think, oh, helpless, this and that. That's why chivalry was created, because the knights, they have this whole code of conduct, how you're supposed to act in front of a lady, how you should be doing this, how you should make her feel a certain kind of way because she's too dainty, she's too soft. So the birth of it was really to protect women and maintain their innocence and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Whether they followed it or not, but it was created to do that. So in that area, like, I believe that like men have always had it in the back of their mind that they were trying to protect women, and that's always been within men. And then there's been men that see women as property. Like, I want that, so I'm gonna treat her how I want to treat her. So those two ideas are still there. You got like you got two ideas that they're both right, and I believe that when women say this is going on, it's true, but this is also going on where men want to protect women, and there's this where men want to own women and do whatever they want. So I believe there's two ideas that's always been there, and you have money that's involved and status, and some women go after money and go after status. So that make it in the mind of a man, they're like, oh, that's what you're going. If you're after power and money, to me, I'll treat you like an object because you don't care about me. You care about what I have and my status. So that changes the way I think and how I view you. So that's another like way to think about it, and what goes on in the psyche of certain men, that women will look at men and believe that we're not moral. Like we don't have any morality to us. Like, and in society, it's kind of like women are morally superior to men. Because you see that in the courtrooms, no matter what it is, the mother is gonna have the kids, even though she could be on drugs, all types of shit, not have a job, all this type of shit, but she will still get the kids because society believes women are morally superior. Men may think that they're physically superior, but when it comes to winning the hearts and minds of people and turning society against you, a woman can turn a whole society against you, and no matter how much strength you got, you can't fight that. And I know
we can't win.
Yeah, we can't win that. So when it comes to respect, I do believe that falls in the whole area of like how we perceive women and whatnot. But I also believe women don't have respect for certain men. Like if you're not a powerful man, you're not at the top of the pecking order. The guys who are at the very bottom, no respect, no love, no anything for women. Women just you can walk over them like they're all those bums you be seeing on the ground. All these men, there's a whole bunch of homeless dudes running around here. You know what I'm saying? As far as women, there'll be a man that's willing to come in and take care of you, whether it's fair how he treats you or not. He will come in there, and if he's liking you, he will go in there and try to take care of you. What happens after that, I don't know, but he will get you off the streets. The whole feminist movement, when it comes to Black women, in my opinion, is that you can't be involved with feminism, because at one point white women got the chance to vote. And when they got the chance to vote, they didn't want your Black ass, and not saying Black ass to y'all, but they didn't want your Black self in that voting booth. There's a picture of the day when voting got legalized for women. There's a picture in Texas of all white women in front of the courthouse or whatever, or city building, whatever, to go vote. And they turned away the only Black chick that showed up to do it, or Mexican, Black, whatever. They turned her away because they were like, nope, you can't do this. This is only for white women. White women have always benefited off of what was going on in this country, and they wanted to go ahead and have their Black soldiers fight for them. White women want their Black female soldiers out here in the field, battling with Black men, battling with white men, battling with everybody, while they sit in the background and they just collect a benefit off of what their white daddy them gave them, and they benefit off of what minority women are fighting for out here. So it's kind of like you guys are fighting a battle for them, almost. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And with the relationship, we're going deeper into Black society. There was a point in time where the government gave Black women the choice to either go on welfare and kick the black man out. Like, you can go ahead and have this, you can go ahead and have this house. You can go ahead and have this housing, but there can only be one adult in here, and it has to, and you got to figure out who it's going to be. And the woman's like, I'm gonna kick out my black man, kick him out, so I can get subsidies, so I can get some government subsidies and get some money from the white man, and kind of pay for this and pay for that, and get a job and do this and all this stuff. But he's gonna be out in the streets. Now he's out in the streets. Now he has to learn street code. He has to learn how to survive in the streets, and then he gets arrested by the cop. And now he's learning about prison culture. So now you have a man that was kicked out by his own woman, by his own black woman. He has to learn how to survive in the streets amongst other people that are in the streets. So he learns street culture, and then he gets picked off by the cops, sent to jail, and gets turned into a slave, back into a slave to work, and he learns prison culture, comes out, and what you want this man to be. What you want him to be is not going to be what he was when you first kicked him out that house. Because he's in the world now. He's a man of the world, and that's what he's going to continue to be. So there's a whole lot of dynamics to it, instead of just saying, feminism. It's like feminism has some good things, but it also has some detrimental things that's going on with it. Like I'm all for that movement back in the 60s. Women get their rights, women can vote, women don't have to wear bras, none of that stuff. Like, hey, I'm all about it. But like,
women don't gotta wear bras.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, but that's
all the things.
They were burning bras. What do you want me to say? Like, they were burning bras. Like, that's what they were doing.
True, you're right. Right.
To an extent, except for what you said about the black household, because I don't feel as though it was a black woman that got the black. Okay, please. No, it's because like
he's right about the black household. You mean like them kicking the man out? And
because I don't feel as though it was women making the choice. Like, I don't want. Yeah, I don't.
No, but the women had to make the choice,
but they've been
either. Yeah, they were infiltrated, but they also, I understand what you're saying. You're right. Their hand were forced to make the choice because you don't want your kids to be out on the street with you. It's either your kids over your man.
But wait,
so your man gotta go.
Without the man, what kind of life does your kids have though afterwards? Without that man in the house, you have no protection. No protection in the household. There's no leader, no protector, nobody to teach your sons how to be men. There's like, who are you gonna go to? Like, there's no men. We're getting locked up.
Yeah, and that's the fall of the black family.
I was about to say, but the woman's fault. The woman didn't say, like, I don't want to protect her from kids.
But you could have been hurting. You could have been hurt. Like when they put the Japanese in the Japanese internment camps, it was the whole family in there, and they survived it. But for some reason, we as a people couldn't see us surviving this. It's just another roadblock they put in our way, and for some reason, like certain black women could not see us surviving it, so they made the choice to go ahead and throw him out into the world to the wolves, and he became a wolf himself. You know what I'm saying? That's where you get these dudes that like, I don't respect no hoes, bitch this, bitch that. I'm a player, gorilla pimping this. I'm holding this down. I don't give a fuck about nobody. And I'll dog out any chick anywhere, anytime, and I'll teach this. My pain and my hurt from being cast out by my own women, it resonates inside me forever. And I'm gonna teach any street dude I see that comes out here. I'm gonna enlighten him about the ways of women. And that's why black men, we have a certain understanding of women that other cultures don't really have. We see the darkest side of our own women and what the extent that they can do to sell us out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we go so hard, and it reverberates through time. It doesn't go away.
And that's part of why chivalry is dead, though.
Yeah, at least in the black culture.
It's part of the black
everywhere.
Not just in black, but everywhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah, within the black community, chivalry is dead a lot more than other communities, though. Like, I'm not trying to point it out, but yeah, I think like everything is like, I don't know how to put it into words, but how do you say it? They're seeing how other people are. Like, go see how these rappers are, how they treat these rappers treating these girls, these hoes or whatever. And that's a part of the reason like chivalry is dying out, because these young boys don't want to be like these preppy, nice, or they're gonna be called sissies. They're gonna be called like fruitcakes and stuff because they're being nice. They want to actually treat a lady good. They're gonna be made fun of, and they see that from these music videos, some of these rap songs and how they rap about women is ridiculous too. So that's part of the reason within the African community, at least African American community, why chivalry is dying out. I think
like you know, if you, it's just a lot of factors that you have to take in, like society.
Yes.
Generational, you know, cultural, like just so many factors that plays in, you know, that just like there's just battle between two genders.
And it's not a battle you can win. This whole battle of the sexes is I need you, you need me. We don't like don't act like you don't need me. I'm not gonna act like I don't need you. Like it's like we need each other to get through this.
And pride is another big thing.
Ego.
Oh yeah, pride kills.
That shit will be the death of people. Be the death of people, man. That ego, man.
Ego is a killer.
Yeah, chivalry is pretty much gone everywhere. It's pretty much gone almost everywhere. Like with the birth of the 21st century and technology. Like this, like I feel like you got OnlyFans and Tinder and you got
Amber Rose. Sorry, Amber Rose, if she ever sees us with her slut walk.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, it is to empower women, but why call it a slut walk?
It's not. That is not empowering, man. That is not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you want to empower women, but let me degrade them at the same time. A slut walk.
I think it's a play on words because, like, usually when men call women sluts, they do it in a degrading way, and it's
like I'm a slut, so let me empower myself.
She's basically taking the word like, oh, because you think that I love my body and I can express myself this, that, and the way that I'm a slut. So she it's basically her way of
it's not clever though. It's not like
playing with it.
I mean, like you're trying to put a spin on it. It's like not calling somebody a nigger or nigger. You're like, oh, we put a spin on call us nigger. It's cool, all that shit. But it's just like she tried to. You can't do that with everything. You can't just copy and paste to another subject. And that's why she's thinking in 2D. We're over here in 3D chess. We're 3D thinkers. We're not in 2D. She's in 2D. So she'll, let's put a spin on slut. No, slut is a negative connotation all around. It's nothing good. You can't put a spin on it that makes it good. Like you cause a lot of problems.
Like what's the point of it? Like it makes no sense at all. Like you have people watching you, you know? You have young females watching you, you know, and then just giving them a wrong
impression.
Yeah, wrong impression. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just her way of trying to like rebrand the word or like own the word and like make it into something else. But you can't really do that with everything.
No, you can't. Like, and she's not really. You have to have a leader. You gotta have. She's not a leader. She's just not. You have to have somebody that's put the time in and really. You know she's on the ground with boots on the ground, working with women, trying to better women. You can't just be somebody been hopping from rapper to rapper to rapper, having kids with rappers, and you're only known in pop culture and shit. And you're the biggest name in this shit. You're the biggest vocal person in it. No, you can't be the leader of this. You just can't because you don't have the resume for it. It's just like if you feel like Donald Trump didn't have the resume, and that's for a whole nother topic. But I'm just this is for example. If you feel like Donald Trump doesn't have the resume to be president. Amber Rose does not have the resume to be a leader of women.
A leader.
Like, yeah, she doesn't. Like, obviously, coming up with slut walk was a dumb idea. So, like, well,
that's the issue of social media. Social media can make anybody an idol. So it's just like people look up anybody who has enough followers, or who has a brand, or who's just known. Because it's easy to become known. It's not like back in the day we actually had to like go out in the field and put in work to be known or to be known. Someone who's like a leader. You
can just click and you could be
you could just do it from behind your phone. So social media has a huge influence on who we see it like as everyday quote unquote idols.
Well, here's another one.
Models.
Do you feel like social media is gonna be like the fall of Western society? You feel like social media like the fall of Western like the fall of society?
Someone said I read something on Facebook. I think one of our cousins said, or I think she was like, social media is a death of reality. I think that's what it was said.
Social media is a death of reality.
Yeah.
I believe it. I think that social media has like its pros, but it also has its cons because nowadays it's becoming like everyone's reality. They're trying to live up to standards that aren't real. They're trying to live up to these celebrities' lifestyles that aren't even real. People are out here doing something strange for a little bit of change just to be known. Just to travel, go on vacation. Like this glamorous lifestyle that's kind of unattainable to an extent because social media just paints a perfect picture to anybody, and then
highlight reel.
Live up to that standards. As you see, like what the rise of surgeries, like
BBL. What is BBL?
Like before social media, that wasn't a thing.
Brazilian butt lift. I thought it was big booty Latinos, but I guess it's Brazilian butt lift. I feel like it's either
Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah, because it's like now social media has women feeling as though they gotta look like what Cardi B and
they have a big booty. They gotta have big breasts.
They're trying to live up to standards that aren't really real. So they're out here willing to do whatever just to get a little bit of attention, a little bit of like, a little bit of notice.
For real, and they don't understand a BBL is like the most dangerous surgery that a surgeon can do.
More dangerous than getting your boobs.
Your
boobs done.
Yes, it's the most dangerous surgery. Like a surgeon.
It's like back in the 90s. What a boob job was like the biggest thing you can get back when all the little white girls.
I don't get how you can pull like artificial like silicone and just put it right there with your muscle tissue. It's just like so cringe.
I empower whoever wants to do whatever with their body. I don't care. Like go ahead. But me personally, I hate needles. Like, I can never go under for surgery. I'd rather have nothing. I'd rather be like nothing. I don't care. It's scary.
If you got a good doctor, I guess it's like nothing. Like if you're talking about a boob job, just cut the bottom and jam whatever they're jamming in there and sew it up. You ain't gonna notice. And the butt thing, that butt thing is hot. Have you seen? I'm not gonna bring the videos up because I don't want to throw up. But they got videos of a girl missing chunks out of her leg. Her butt, forget about the butt. The butt is gone. Like that junk is traveling down to her thigh.
I probably saw that in was the skin like discolored?
Yeah, it looked like she had like something ate her butt, and then was moving on to her thigh.
What was it? A bacteria infection?
Yeah, it's because she went down to like DR. Went down to the Dominican Republic and got it super cheap on the low, super cheap.
Just close the door, please.
And they be putting
but you have to close the door, so
they inject them with whatever. Like I remember, this was back when those butt surgeries had just started popping off, and I think it was like in the like 2014, 2015 area, and like some lady was doing butt surgeries in her basement with a damn spatula. A pancake spatula, like holding up the butt and jamming silicone.
Breakfast and butts.
Crazy.
You got butt cheeks and breakfast.
Like after she jams the silicone in your butt, she flips the pancake. She turns around and flips the pancake on the stove, and it goes back to jamming everything back in the butt.
That's nasty.
Crazy, man.
That is disgusting.
It's all about the image. Social media is about an image.
It's all about image.
And they don't look right. Like a lot of girls with these big old butts don't even look right. Like unless they have clothes on.
Yo, their legs are like this. It's like their legs are like that. They're like two little skinny legs with a big apple on top. So weird.
And
they look good before. Like there's some girls that look so good before, and then social media says, "Nah, you need a big butt." And they get the big butt, and they can't even go back to how they used to look. It's weird.
But that's the thing. Even when they don't look right, social media still gasses them up. There'll still be people who look good, girl.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just that's what they feed off. They feed off the attention of people who think it looks good, knowing dang well they look better natural.
Well, they need a stronger mind because
and that just brings about bullying, childhood trauma, just a lot of underlying factors that we can get into, that leads them for them to take this route.
Yeah, true. That's true.
So with the same with the pressure that women have on social media, right? I would say it's not as heavy, but men, they be feeding into the bullshit. They will talk about the crimes they commit on social media to look cool.
Yes.
They will show pictures of guns to look cool and tough. They'll show packs and packs of drugs. Like they'll have like pounds of marijuana, just like trying to look cool on Instagram or whatever. And then when the cops come knocking at their door, they're like, "Hey, we're here to come get you." They're like,
they
"Oh wait,
crying to the judge."
Yeah, they're like, "Who snitched on me? This shouldn't happen."
I'm sorry.
That's like, bro, like
who told on me?
Bro, you told on yourself.
Yeah, they be criminalizing themselves. All for
and a lot of times it's
just
fake.
an image. They want to have that gang banging image. They want to have that they getting money image. They want to have this Pablo Escobar image. But when it comes down to actually like,
yeah, this dude,
they run.
Oh, yeah, he's
They
sleeping on
cry to the judge and they sing to her to give him a little
seen that.
something.
I know that's what you were talking about.
I want to tell you that I'm sorry.
The judge's over here snapping to it. Oh yeah, you go to jail, but that's fire.
Yeah, you can't be mad when they come get you.
Yeah. How you so tough on social media? You got a Ferrari with the AR-15 sitting on it. You got a stack of money to your ear, and then when the judge is there, you over here singing to her like, "Oh, why did I do this?"
No common sense.
Yeah, none.
You know, a lot of the stuff is also like a cap because sometimes the car is rented, the money is fake, the drugs are like flour. It's like all a cap just for them to look good for social media, and they don't understand that capping is getting real people killed.
So my question, like, what's cool about that?
For real,
it's attention. It's attention.
It's a mentality.
But they think it's to get women and it's to get respect from other dudes, which I do. Like they like dudes worry about so much. Like you think women worry about what women think. There's dudes that they care about everything other dudes think of them, which is ridiculous to me. It's
Soulja Boy.
I like Soulja Boy.
I'm not saying I don't like him, but whenever someone does something, he's the first to respond. Well, I'm the first. I know he's joking about that, I think, but he's someone who he responds to everything.
Yeah.
He hears his name and he's responding.
Soulja Boy is a Leo. That explains it enough. That man is self-centered.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's funny though. He's a businessman. Like as soon as I'm the first to do this, Soulja Boy is ridiculous, man. He's ridiculous.
He sure is.
Yeah, but men just I don't know. They really they use we call it social media and just like the craziest ways to like get attention, and it's like through illegal.
Yes.
It's always something illegal or something aggressive that's like I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Like, why are you being so aggressive on social media when you're not like that in real life?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a mentality too. I feel as though they do it to get respect from other men as well. Like, oh, like don't mess with me, don't come for me.
Yeah.
This, that, and the third. Like, I'll shoot you.
Definitely.
But that makes me want to come at you though.
What's gonna happen is the opposite.
So you challenging me? You how many times have you seen dudes like with that whole Instagram thing? They're like, oh, you ain't who you talking to? Like who that like talking crazy up on that Instagram look like, oh, all right, well, you go see me that and all this other shit. And then in the next video, he's getting knocked out, like in the grass. Like that happens all the time.
With the Arizona can. What you doing? Boom!
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I don't know. I feel like kind of like gang banging. Like it started out like protecting territory. Now it's just like who's the hardest, who's the toughest, who could do it, who could slam the most. It's just like I feel like it's all within each other, and it really just makes no sense.
I mean, there used to be morale behind that, back then, but now there's generations after just
for real. They used to be dancing on the
reckless.
Streets on two different sides.
Yeah.
West Side Story.
West Side Story. When you're a jet on the way. Like all that stuff. Like West Side Story, man. Yeah, but it's like you said, they were there to protect the neighborhoods. But then when money gets involved and drugs get you the money, hey, everything's corrupt. Everything's open for corruption. Like and that's the thing. Like think about how a gang runs and how a military or something runs. The military, everybody gets paid the same. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? They try to keep everything as square as possible. With gang, you'll get this big gang of like 70-something people. Half of them don't know each other. I don't know what this cycle is gonna do on a daily basis. So he might be rapping my gang, but he's out here doing heinous shit. So I can't be responsible for that. There's no code. There's a code of ethics, but there's nothing that happens if you don't follow it. And even if there is a code of ethics, like nobody's gonna enforce it. The military, if you fuck up, you will have to pay for what you do. If they catch you, you'll have to pay for it. With these gangs, like people may get paid. Like one dude in the gang may be dirt poor, no money, no anything, and the other dude over here, he's balling with mad money, and like so, the pay discrepancy goes on in the gang. And then you got dudes that mess around with each other's girls. Like if I'm in a gang, my girl is not for the whole gang. I don't care what nobody says. If I'm in a gang, my girl is not for the whole gang. But there other dudes are gonna like when I'm not around and my girl's around, they're gonna try to mess with my girl. And these aren't like these gangs usually take anybody. You know what I'm saying? And they'll take in anybody and try to like, but not even mold them. Just be like, oh, now you got to do what we say. Like you take you in, and now you got to rep us. No matter, and they don't care how to do it. This dude could be the biggest piece of shit. So no quality control or low quality control.
I agree.
And now I got this questionable man around my girl. No, and I'm in the game because, like I say, I'm born into it. I'm born into the gang, so I'm gang all day. And
that's sad.
And then this dude, he's not worth the shit, but he joined the gang. And like now, like so, I'm gonna bring my kids, my family, who are all in this gang shit, and around this dude, and I don't know shit. Like, come on, man. Like, has to be quality.
No structure to it.
No structure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, hey,
it's crazy.
Well, seeing as how let's keep the momentum going. Let's dive into our main topic today. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. We kind of like had a little power before the pod started, and I don't know if our listeners out here have heard about it. We're gonna talk about the city that bombed itself. And if you don't know what that is, we're talking about Philadelphia, west side of Philadelphia, born and raised. You know, like Fresh Prince. So I mumble it too. So how the story goes, right? This is basically about a group of pro-black group called Move. I don't know why it's called Move. It's probably just a clever name they came up with. You probably can do the research yourself.
I'm gonna interrupt you. It's not an acronym. So yeah, it's not an acronym.
It's not an acronym. Okay.
No, it's not.
Oh man, you got a dog right there.
I'm about to say, I didn't want to say that.
Oh, he's got a. Is that a dog? He wants to be in the podcast.
Oh, hey.
I mean, it's for me. Please.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a quick screen share. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about here, and I'll bring up the a little bit more information. Probably give you guys a visual while I talk about it. So
yeah.
This is that's something that we can say. Well, was just something we can say that for another time. Let me see. Right here. Okay, so we're gonna talk about what Move is first. Let me see if we got it up here. Okay. Move. What was? Let me go back and go forward and go back. I know they had it highlighted on this.
It was page. A black.
You see it there? All right. So where is it? I know it was over here. It's up on here. Oh. The bombing and so Move. Basically, I guess I'll just give you just a bit. What Move was? It was a pro-black group, and it's a pro-black group that focused on, I guess. Here we go, right here. I don't know, radical. So it says a radical group called Move sparked sparking a fire that gutted a neighborhood and left 11 people dead. And 5 were children. Okay, and I know they had a clear definition of what Move was. Here we go. Found it right here. All right. Move was a Philadelphia-based radical movement that was dedicated to the liberation and back to nature lifestyle. So basically, that whole to me, how I said it before, it's like a fusion, kind of like a hippie Black Panther type of blend. It's like kind of they're trying to like get Black people to be kind of live a certain type of lifestyle and reject like the American type of way of thinking, way of living, and all that. Which since the 70s and the Civil Rights movement, There's been a lot of pro-black movements out there, and so this is nothing new. Move is nothing new. Move is nothing that's like anything new to American society. Black people been trying to like kind of separate from the U.S. government and what they have going on or whatnot. So this is nothing new. So Move is the same thing in that same vein as the Black Panthers, maybe mixed with a little hippie sprinkled in there, and it's just another Black pro movement. But the officials, the government officials, and the mayors and whatnot, they viewed Move as a terrorist organization, which it's easy for them just to demonize Black folk. You know,
I have a question, Devo.
Or okay.
Sorry. I have a question. I'll say it again. I have a question, DIV. Is it that because the hippie aspect was part of it, was they a civil rights group against America as a whole or against American white folks as a whole? Were they trying to like maintain their Black superiority, or were they just trying to like what was it like? Yeah,
no, it wasn't. And so it wasn't so much as they were trying to become more superior. They were trying to separate themselves. So it wasn't no terror. They seen it as like a socialist terrorist organization. But what most of these movements were was them separating themselves. Look at the Nation of Islam. They want to separate themselves from American society and the government. It's like you have those sovereign citizens and all that stuff. They wanted to separate themselves from American society and American, because they knew we can't make it if we blend with these people. We're not gonna win. We go and try to play their game, we're gonna lose at it. So what we gotta do is make our own way, and that's what they're trying to do. And when you start separating it confuses people, it scares them, and it's like, wait, what are they doing over there? A group of Black people can't get together. No, we can't do that. You can't have more than 5 Black people in the street. You gotta bring it up. We gotta do
true.
So they did a lot of different groups. They did that with Marcus Garvey. They when he tried to go back to Africa, when he had the whole sat there and they sank his ships, so he couldn't. They did the same.
Didn't they assassinate him?
No, he wasn't.
Marcus, right? He wasn't assassinated.
He was what's it called when you force someone out the country? You take away their citizenship.
Exile.
Exile.
Yeah, it was exiled. They did the same thing with the Black Panthers, like Black Wall Street. They just don't the Black empowerment.
Tulsa riots.
Tulsa riots. Selma. They try to stop them on Selma.
Yeah, anything that Black people try to do to liberate themselves from needing the government or needing society or being a part of what they wanted to be a part of, they sat there and they sabotaged it. It's a control thing. It's a superiority.
They fear Black people coming together.
They do.
You know,
it's so hard to dismantle it. The same thing with the Black families. You think if you have a Black foundation, a Black family structure, like that, you wouldn't be like, we'd be unstoppable. That's why they try to infiltrate whatever they can, any way they can.
Yes, it's like you want, and that's what if we want to talk about conspiracies, you can talk about Bigfoot all day. But we also talk about Black conspiracies and the stuff that Black people go through, and they call it conspiracy. Oh, you guys are just being crazy. But then you got Black codes, obviously. You got slavery. You got redlining, where like certain neighborhoods, Black people can't live in a certain neighborhoods, or you guys are funding. You got mass incarceration. You got the disparity between crack and cocaine, where Iraq will get you more time than powder, which they're both the same thing. You know what I mean? But who partakes in cocaine more and who partakes in crack more?
Caucasian.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
White people.
So it's like a game they play, and when we try to call it out, it's like, oh, you guys just complaining. But in their culture, which it's a lot of sweeping under the rug. It's okay to sweep things under the rug in their culture. We can't. We don't have that luxury. It's like it's always like do or die with us. So
yeah, going back to what you said about the drugs, though, that's a good example, because it's just like when they first introduced crack to the Black community. I don't care what they said. The government introduced drugs, crack, all that into the hood and all them places. When they, especially like the lower income areas, when they first did that, they would people up like this. But now that like this day and age that all these like little white teenagers and these white people are getting hooked on opioids and stuff like that. They're sitting here and they're pushing rehab. They're not sitting here
they're not monsters.
Trying a solution for it. They're like, oh, come on, we gotta do rehabilitation. We gotta sit here, we gotta fight for it. Like, it's just such a difference in how they treat different people when they're the cause of the problem. Like they push doctors to give opioids so people become addicted. They sat here, they brought in when it came to Black people and Spanish people, then it was just like throw them in jail. But now that it's like taking over the white community, it's like, oh, rehabilitate them.
So all that legitimate cases we got against the establishment. And we try to voice our opinions, but they always try to shut us down. But this right here is a case right here. So I'm gonna continue with it. So I'll just read the summary, the first paragraph right here. The police bombing of the 6,221st Osage Avenue in Philadelphia caused a level of trauma, key word right there, that is difficult. And this is the New York Times, by the way. This article is, not the New York Times, New York. This is New Yorker's article right here. It's the trauma that is difficult to exaggerate. On May 13, 1985, while many of the city's residents were still basking in the glow of previous afternoon's Mother's Day gathering, hundreds of heavily armed police officers surrounded a row of houses in a Black neighborhood in West Philadelphia. After firing thousands of ammunition and canisters of noxious tear gas into the homes, they flew a helicopter over the roof and dropped a package of military-grade explosives. I think it's called Torbex. Torbex is like upgraded dynamite. It's like an upgraded plastique mixture version of dynamite. I think it's called Torbex. I don't know if I pronounce it right.
Is that Torbex?
Something like that. It's like Torbex. It's like Tobex. Tobex, I think. I'm not sure. It's some type of newer. At the time, it was like a newer age dynamite, I think. And I think it was like Tovex, something like that. I can't remember. But after the helicopter flew a package of military-grade explosives, and it says what followed is unimaginable. So, and I'll give you guys a rundown. We don't have to read through this whole thing, but if you guys want, if the viewers who are watching this, you guys want to go check it out, you guys can read the article, go up on Wikipedia, do your research on the 1985 move. You just type it in. The city that bombed itself, Philly, which is like, that's what happened, So what they said happened is that after that whole exchange with gunfire and whatnot, shooting up the house, they said that the people that were inside didn't even have working guns to fire back. The move people, the Black folks that were inside the move, the guys move, they didn't even have weapons to fire back. The weapons weren't working. I think they said they only had like one or two working weapons or something like that. And then they also said when they were bombing the building and people were running out of the burning building, they started shooting people as they were coming out. So it's also like
wickedness.
Absolute monsters. Like, and it was just it's hard to hear a story like this and think like, damn, like what did these people really do? Did they hurt anybody? What did they do? You guys perceived them as a threat and then just went straight into attacking. What did they do? I think I read something that before this happened, they locked up some of their members for like hundreds of years, like 100 years, like some crazy jail sentence. Yeah, something crazy. But anyways,
no, go ahead. Anyways, go.
Yeah, but anyways, this happened. After the bombing and the killing of all these 11 people and the children, one person survived, and I think it was a female. They sent her to jail. She went to jail, and then over time, pressure from civil rights leaders and all types of things, people heard about the story, kind of blew up, and they realized, the mayor, and you know what else is messed up is that they had firefighters on scene, and the police chief because they said it was the mayor that told the firefighters it was like they were blaming each other, the mayor or the police chief. One of them was blaming each other that held back the firefighters. They held back firefighters from doing their job. It was like, oh no, wait, let this burn. Literally, like, how are you gonna tell firefighters to wait and let this burn? Like, and then when it finally comes to light, what you did, you guys are playing, oh, he told me to do this. Oh no, he told me to do this. He's responsible. Oh no, he and like you guys are playing games with people's lives, and you guys are over here just thinking that you can just pass the buck and play these games, but it's not something you can play with. Yeah. You let these buildings burn, and letting this happen, it's gonna put a permanent mark on your city completely. Like it's gonna be Philly's supposed to be the brotherly love. It's supposed to be the city of brotherly love, right? And look what
it is.
Mm-hmm. Like that doesn't make no sense. It's like oxymoron. It's like the jumbo.
It is an oxymoron. The contradictory.
Mm-hmm. So the girl, again, I'll just say the move member that was in jail finally got out. They were supposed to receive a certain, like I think it was close to 10 million or 5 million in the millions, and apparently they only received like either 200,000, 500,000, some crazy fraction of what they were supposed to get. So that was already a travesty in itself. But then the story gets even kind of creepier. It takes a creepier place, a more disrespectful, even though that's very disrespectful. They desecrate these bodies. They go in there and they retrieve two young bodies from the wreckage and the rubble and whatnot, and they donate these bodies without no information to the surviving family members. No, they don't inform them. They don't tell them nothing. They just send their bodies to a university. And I think the university up here, if they bring it up,
what did they tell them when the kids died, that their bodies just couldn't be found?
I think it was something like that. It's like, oh, the bodies just couldn't be recovered, or they couldn't identify the bodies, or something like that. So they just took them. They were like unknown bodies, so they just took them away and donated them to some university. I probably have the university on the other page. I'm just going through this. But anyways, you guys can do the research on it. All our viewers, they can go ahead and do the research. But I wish I could bring up the university right now, but I can't find it here. So they got sent to a university. Maybe was it Princeton? Princeton's in New Jersey, or
Princeton? It's in New Jersey, I believe.
Yeah, I think the bodies got sent to Princeton, and the bodies ended up being like on a documentary or something. But they were fiddling with the bodies. It's like they were in the university as just like something for little college kids to go up there and just mess around with, desecrating the bodies even more. The family doesn't know what's going on. And then finally people got wind of it. Oh, the bodies are over here. And apparently they were in a documentary or something, but the bodies are over here. So they people were up in arms about it. And this is something that happened recently, I think in 2020, either 2021 or 2020. Again, research is there. You guys can look it up. And the head of the department, he tried to do some nefarious acts. He tried to go ahead and hide. He tried to hide the fact that he knew about these bodies. He had identified the bodies, but he didn't want to admit to none of that. He's like, oh, we don't know what the bodies is or where the bodies are. We can't identify them. We don't know anything about that, or we can't find them. But underneath his lies, he was trying to dispose of the bodies without anybody finding out. He wanted to dispose of them before everything came to light. And then everything came to light before he could get rid of it. All he did was just step down. They got rid of them, all that stuff. And then eventually the people went to go search for the bodies. And would you know it? They found them, no problem. And they were labeled MOVE, M-O-V, on the bodies. He knew exactly what they were. He knew exactly where they were and who they were. And he just, another instance of people just disrespecting these people. Mm-hmm. And that's where the story ends to this day. And the family doesn't know exactly what they're going to do with the remains. They're still trying to figure that out. So, and I guess he was trying to cremate them too or something like that. But yeah, so the family, this is where it is now with the whole story. So that's pretty much the story of the MOVE getting bombed, the city that bombed itself. So
I can't imagine, the family of those victims, what they're going through or what they went through.
Mm-hmm.
But the kids that were killed, were their parents killed, or was it just
There's only one survivor. There's only one out of 11 people, only one survivor.
So their parents were dead, so they didn't have relatives to claim the body.
No, they have relatives like cousins, uncles, aunts. They probably have relatives, but the whole family didn't get killed in the bombing, but a certain big group of the family got murdered.
Okay, so I found the university. I think you said Princeton. The bones were at University of Pennsylvania, and then when the guy moved to Princeton University, he took them with him.
Thank you. Okay, yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have an obsession with displaying Black trauma. That's all I'm gonna say. Like
they do. They use it in online forensic anthropology teaching videos.
Whenever they have anything with like Black people, they love to put it on display. Like it's something.
Yes, remember that lady with the overly big butt? They put her on display.
Europe,
Like they put her body on display.
How they had her whole full body on display for the and it's like they
couldn't believe her butt was like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, like she just got a big butt. Like that's it.
Yeah, you don't see George.
Never seen no body.
Like they'd say it was disrespectful if you put like one of the white presidents in the museum. They'd say it's disrespectful to history. But like when it comes to Black people or any other like minorities, it's like they can put it on display for everybody to see.
But are we surprised they had Black people in zoos on display?
Yeah. In the Bronx, I think they had them. Like, that's wild.
Like, they have obsession with
that's wild.
Displaying Black people's traumas.
It is wild.
Man, it's not like I'm never surprised anymore. I'm not surprised. No. When you hear these stories, it's just that's part of the course or whatever the phrase is. Like, so I'm not surprised. And disappointed, yes. Surprised.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
And it's funny that the mirror was like, oh, those guys can't exist in this place. This is America. Like he said that. And that made me think of Childish Gambino doing this whole "This is America" song. I don't know if that's where he got it from, but he may have. But that was like a quote from the mirror, like, "Oh, we can't have like a socialist movement, this and that. They're threatening American society, They can't do that. This is America." Like, so it's like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, crazy.
That's crazy.
America.
Yeah.
America with 3 K's in it.
Yep. No C's, just 3 K's.
3 K's.
Yeah, birth of a nation.
True.
Yeah. So that being said, is there any other topics you guys want to go over? Anything that's on your mind? Any like lasting things you guys want to get out or maybe put out to the public? Anything y'all want to say? Anything at all?
Know your rights and protect yourself.
That's a good one. Let's see. There's something I wanted to touch on that I didn't say before. I think it was with the feminism when you was talking about it. Susan B. Anthony was she was the leader of the feminist movement, right?
I didn't know that.
Is it? No, I'm just asking, was she? Because if she was, they made it out to seem like you said that Susan B. Anthony was like, a lot of women look up to her as a strong woman, but they didn't realize that Susan B. Anthony put women over Black people in general. She was not for Black people. And she didn't care about racism. She put sexism over racism, and that was sexism in terms of white women getting equality. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, she is not no figure for no young girls, and so many young Black girls are looking up to this woman who did not give a damn about that. At all.
And that's the tragedy. That's the joke, What is it? Shakespeare has the tragedies and comedies are one and the same or something like that. That's the big joke to it, is that like you got these women of color looking up to a woman that wouldn't even spit on them if there was on fire. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
annoying.
Like these topics are really good, and I feel like we should touch these topics again. And also just reference different part of history and even like today's society where we live in, and just reference some things when we're talking about these topics. It's really good.
Yeah, this was a good one. This is real good. I'd say you guys brought the heat today. I respect that. You guys really brought usually our shit is way more loose, way more like wild than just talking shit. This is a very intellectual pod. I like that. We're bringing the intellectualism to you guys, if that's a word. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we get some views on this one. But society, I feel like is like doomed to repeat itself in some ways. I don't want to say doomed because I don't want to go out history, but I want to be negative at the end. I want to like be positive about things. I feel like the world's getting better in certain ways. A lot of hate.
We're waking up to a lot. I feel as though Black people are really and then they're like, okay, so you can't, like, the mask is coming off. So
mask off. Yep.
We should all just let
They're getting their flowers slowly but surely.
I feel like, ever like since the pandemic happened and like and all these recent killings of, Black people, I feel like this time, like you can feel like the atmosphere is different now. Like there's a shift, like there's a shift now, where like people are starting to like wake up,
taking it serious.
Yeah, you can really feel it.
Yeah, I like the feeling. I like, cause even when all the riots were going on over that summer and all that, even though you know it wasn't just all Black people, and they put the bricks there. Like, why is there a pile of bricks here? Antifa getting all mixed up into it. It's like you see like conspiracies, which are not conspiracy, but you see people conspiring and people plotting right in front of you.
Exactly.
And Black people are we got a point to make. And other people are taking advantage of the chaos. Like I was in Philly when they were stuck getting set on fire. I watched the CBS get the windows smashed and people running in there taking stuff. I was walking the streets. I mean, it was like nobody bothered me, but I was walking the streets and I'm just like, yo, what am I? This is like World War Z out here. Like,
wow, that's crazy.
I watched smoke like in broad daylight. There was people were burning stuff, and then once the shade came down and nighttime was coming, it was all chaos. All chaos. Like it was just you look down a road and it's a thick fog of smoke, and you see like faint lights, like police lights in the background, and you see people climbing out of windows. I was like, wow, it's intense. Like you look like as like an animalistic feeling. It's like a creature of earth, like. You could feel it, like you feel that energy, like there's energy here, like this energy. It's like ominous, but like I feel like the hairs on my back standing up. Not so much that I'm like afraid, but it's like I'm getting enthralled in it. I feel like the heat from it, and it's just like yo, this is like you can't. There's nowhere else you can feel that. Like you like when like when the Eagles won the Super Bowl or whatever, white people go crazy.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's some dumb shit. That's we're gonna get dumb and drunk and just do something. There was like dudes eating horse
burn our own city down.
Yeah, for nothing. Like, but like this is different. This is like serious. Like it was something serious, and it's just like it's like a reverberation throughout society. Just like yo, everybody's serious, everybody's upset, and fuck everything. Like it was just like I don't know. It was a crazy feeling.
It was crazy. That's crazy that you were down there. Wow.
Yeah, I just happened to be there, and like when I drove into Philly, there was literally a cop car, like a big SUV. The glass was broken. They spray painted on it like F12 or something, and it was set on fire. I was like, yo, this is real shit. This is like real.
It's like, am I really here? It's like surreal.
Yeah, it's real out here, man. Yeah, people really taking it serious. And CNN ain't doing it justice, man. If you there and you see it and you feel it, like. You watch Fox News, CNN, whatever you watch, left, right, middle, whatever, and MSNBC, all that other shit. You there or you see it, it's a different feeling, man.
It's different, yeah.
Well, yeah. If everybody got their feelings out, anything else you want to say, Lala? You good? I mean,
yeah. Yeah, check you out,
Chicago. Yeah, for the most part, I feel like I spoke my truth. This was some good discussions.
Okay.
Very good discussion.
Yes, about conspiracy theories, chivalry, this Philadelphia things, These things are like topics that are not just like a one-day topic. They can go on and on and on. So that's what's good about them.
The Philly topic was new to me, so...
new to me too. When I was introduced to it.
Yeah.
I was like, so right. I was thinking it was a Tulsa Wall Street, the Black Wall Street.
Yeah,
that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Nah, I literally heard about this like the beginning of this week, or not maybe the last week, the end of last week. I heard about it. I was like, what? And when I heard about it, I was like, yo, I have to do research on this and find out what this is about. And I'm glad I did it with you guys. Because you guys brought a whole different perspective into this. I can't stress how much you guys did this really good, You guys are real good out here.
We all did good.
Yeah, we all did good.
1, 2, 3, 4, we did good.
All right, thank you. Yeah, all right, so if that's it, This has been the Barely Broke Podcast. This whole room gallery getting bigger, man. Yeah, you got Rizzel, Sorea, Melody Lee, D.I.B. We're all here for you guys. Hopefully we'll be back to entertain and give y'all what you want, give y'all what you need. Maybe we'll come with a lot of topics, maybe we'll come with heavy topics. But we're coming again. Here we out.
Coming for you.
Hey.